The future is being shaped right here in Dubai. This is DXB Today.
Hello and welcome to what is a World Government Summit special. Episode that, of course, looks at what's going on up here at the Madinat, where over 10,000 global leaders, experts and policymakers have all descended on the city. All eyes are very much on Dubai.
And up for discussion is the future. The role that technology, education, sustainable living and economic development can play in shaping a better tomorrow.
Absolutely, and we are your eyes and ears to what's happening. We'll be talking to key officials and decision makers at the summit on how it's changing the world. It is changing the world, isn't it?
It is, and I'm certainly getting the impression. I mean, this has been around, World Government Summit, I think first one was 2013.
Yeah, 10 years anniversary.
A 10-year anniversary, and it's certainly, there's more noise about the World Government Summit this year than I've ever experienced before.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's to do with a variety of things. Obviously, the fact that we are in a very important year for the UAE as a whole, COP28 at the end of it. We've also seen the World Economic Forum being held over in Davos earlier on this year, and that was, whilst it attracted a great crowd, a lot of the analysts, the critics were saying that not much was achieved at WEF this year. However, when you look at some of the names that are flying into Dubai to take part in the next couple of days, it really does show the sort of impact that the World Government Summit is happening. So I think important time for important conversations. Dubai, the UAE, attracting that sort of level of speaker, and therefore I'm expecting some big stories to come out of this over the next couple of days.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Elon Musk is turning up.
So he says.
You don't think he's not going to?
He will. No, he has confirmed. He's meant to be here on Wednesday morning, where he will be talking to the summit. So we'll have more on that one a little later on. But he's been earlier on today. He was at the Super Bowl, so who knows where he's going to be.
Right,
so we'll wait and see. Now, also in attendance are global and local influencers, activists and entrepreneurs. Well, to help us discuss the impact is an acclaimed business journalist who's driving important conversations right here in the region.
Hi, I'm Seban Scaria, editor of Savia by Refinitiv. Today I'll be talking about the importance of World Government Summit in Dubai.
Before we talk to Seban about the World Government Summit and what it's achieved in its past years, let's just take a quick look, if we can, at the opening ceremony that welcomed over 280 delegates from around the world to Dubai.
With renowned global leaders and thinkers in attendance at the opening ceremony, the World Government Summit is officially underway in Dubai. World leaders, policy experts and business innovators are geared up for 3 days of dialogue and discourse on this decade's most pressing challenges. They are highlighting opportunities for innovation and positive change. And the goal is to shape the future in ways that benefit all of us.
Yeah, that was the opening ceremony. And as we mentioned, the World Government Summit is an important catalyst for progress and change. Seban has joined us here to discuss further. Seban, just on that point that I made a little bit earlier on, and again, as a keen observer of the World Government Summit over the course of the last 10 years, do you feel that it's having more impact globally at the moment?
Definitely, yes. I mean, this year is very important because of two major reasons. One, considering the number of world leaders that's come to Dubai already.
20, is it?
Yeah, 20 presidents, several head of the states, at least 500 ministers, 10,000 businessmen, lots of thought leaders, subject experts, I mean, it's a huge list. So that's there. Definitely the subjects that's being discussed, especially at this point, you know, when the world is facing a crisis in terms of the economies, or when inflation is very high. Energy is a huge issue, and climate change is another one. So definitely the world is queued into this particular international summit to see what exactly experts, presidents, head of the states have all got to say.
We appreciate you being with us. We'll have more from you in just a few moments' time. But this is our World Government Summit special. We will continue the conversation to talk about the impact the summit is having, not just here in the UAE, but further afield, straight after this short break.
Welcome back to DXB Today. Now, the World Government Summit is underway in Dubai. We have our guest with us, Zeban. Zeban, what are some of the key topics kind of on the table for the next 3 days? I know you touched on them slightly.
Yeah, so over the 3 days, I mean, there are several important topics that would definitely make this event a truly global summit. I mean, some of the key ones are definitely the ones related to Middle East and North Africa economies as well. You have climate change, which is a huge topic. Then there are other, the slogan or the theme of WGS this year is shaping future governance. So that exactly means, I mean, all these world leaders will be sitting and talking in different platforms, and there will be many dialogues trying to analyze the current and future challenges. And they will come out with strategic solutions that could help global policies, shape global policies. I mean, that's very important.
Yeah.
We're going to touch more about these points very soon. The Museum of the Future is a perfect example of the summit putting positive action into focus. Let's take a quick look at the iconic landmark that's an embodiment of the summit's strongest values.
The World Government Summit has kicked off today in Dubai. We've got thought leaders from around the world in the city, and everyone is buzzing about the innovations and technology that will shape the future. For all of us here in Dubai, one of the best examples of hope and universal progress is the iconic Museum of the Future. Situated in the heart of the city on Sheikh Zayed Road, the Museum of the Future is one such marvel inaugurated as a part of the World Government Summit in 2016 under the Dubai Future Foundation. Officially opened on 22nd of February 2022, the Museum of the Future is a living, breathing embodiment of the robotics and AI that is shaping the world of tomorrow. With immersive experiences covering everything from space, climate challenges and wellness to the technologies and skill sets that will shape our lives in the years to come. The Museum of the Future builds on the ideas driving the World Global Summit. It is a showcase of the innovative thoughts leading towards positive change.
Well, our next guest is an acclaimed journalist and reporter who is in fact covering the World Government Summit this year. She's here to tell us what to keep an eye on over the next 3 days. It is a warm, warm welcome. All the way from Euronews, it is Natalie Lindo. Nat, how good to see you as always.
Good to see you.
Nice to have you on board. World Government Summit seems to be bigger and better this year than ever before.
Yeah, I would say so, Tom. I think last year we saw the return of big events. We had it up at Expo as well, so that was an interesting place, but the buzz this year seems to be different. I think it's those big names that are coming into town, and you can see the city is alive. It really is. It's kind of, we know that there's huge names attending. You mentioned World Economic Forum. Wouldn't say it was a damp squib, but the names that we've got here are particularly exciting. Quite a coup for Dubai to get some of those names. You think IMF, World Economic Forum, we've got lots of thought leaders here, and it's just the impact that they might have in terms of them attending means other people from around the world will be watching what's going on. You know, you think of these names, you know, the Director General of the World Health Organization is here. We're going to see speakers from around the world in those kinds of positions. The Secretary General from the UN will also be talking. So I think there's a huge win for this city to think that all of these people are attending and they want to take part. Of course, Elon Musk is the big headline, but there are many other people coming. And I think the excitement is for Wednesday, but you can feel that the city is very much alive right now.
Tom doesn't think he's going to turn up.
He is going to turn up. Of course he is.
I'm just being cheeky.
He's been before, right? He came in 2017, so he's had this conversation, and I think that dynamic between the chairman of the World Government Summit, Mohammed Al-Gharqawi, will be interesting because they both have this real interest in terms of the future, what the future means. And I think they're thinking beyond their lifetime. They're thinking about what this place will look like for their grandchildren. It's not a case of what's happening now. We think of the future in the immediate term, but it's also what we're going to see in the long term. And I think that's why that conversation Wednesday morning will be really exciting.
Asking them the same question, really, then that Tom posed to Sevan in terms of, what's actually going to come out of it? Are there going to be these actionable points that we can actually go back and go, right, well, this was decided at the WGS? And
yeah, I mean, we've just talked about the Museum of the Future. That came from WGS in 2014, so that is an actionable event. We've seen that happen. I think if you take your mind back to last year, we were surprised by Dubai Municipality coming out and saying, we are entering the metaverse, we're joining with partners, and we're going to make this happen. It was the first civic municipal level that had decided to enter the metaverse, and look at the impact that's had. We've seen how much investment is coming over the coming years for that. So we can see actionable things. Take last night, we had a surprise announcement that we're going to be seeing the air taxis in the air by 2026. So it's something we've talked about, but there is already results. So we'll see memorandums of understanding, we'll see dynamics between different leaders. One of the most interesting conversations I had last year was with one of the digital government officers from Estonia. They were talking about digital visas, and they look at how they can incorporate that. You take one country like Estonia, you see what's being done in Africa, and we see how we can all come together and sort of use those ideas to look towards digitization of services and how we can make things a little more streamlined going forward.
Yeah, I mean, talking about what will be discussed and the key takeaways, I mean, I would definitely say that, what should we look forward to would be the delegation from Egypt, as we know that Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, I mean, he's coming here with the biggest delegation from that country. So, I mean, Egypt has gone through a lot of financial turmoil, so he will be reviewing the country's performance in a keynote address, so that's very important. Say, for example, as part of the WGS, yesterday was day 0, so Kristalina Georgieva, the head of IMF, she was here. So she made a very important statement saying, this year it could be a turning point for the world. I mean, in the sense, inflation could come down and growth could see a small surge. And at the same time, she also urged all the MENA or the Middle East and North Africa economies to, improve resilience so that we can survive the crisis.
I think the other key thing to point out here is, we talked a lot about the delegates, talked about the world leaders, etc. But you look at the world's press as well, descending on Dubai, on the UAE, which again is another indication of the fact that this is of interest, not just to us here in Dubai, but the world over.
Yeah, I mean, we're based out of France and we're a global news organisation. It's very important for us that we cover this because it's a case of saying, look, this is happening, and I think each year the World Government Summit is growing in prestige. It's attracting the right kinds of names. It's having the right kinds of conversations. You'll see global journalists here. You can feel that the city is buzzing with something different. Everywhere is busy. The roads are slightly busier, so allow extra time if you are travelling to it. But, I mean, I think it's something as the media we see as important to cover because we're talking about Dubai, but we're talking about the global impact these conversations are having, and there is real change that are coming about after events like this. It's not like we say we're just talking about another event. This is something where we can say, look, this happened in 2014. We have this iconic building now. So who knows? Right now, over the coming few days, we can see people discussing the next Museum of the Future. We don't know what that will be, but in a few years' time, we'll go, gosh, they discussed that in 2023.
We're still enjoying our one right now for now. Natalie, thank you so much. It's been really, really interesting to have you on, and good luck for the next 3 days for you at the World Government Summit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming on. Right, that is it for us for just a little while, but when we come back, we'll be taking a look at the Time 100 Impact Awards, so don't go anywhere.
Yeah, welcome back to the show. Now, the World Government Summit is not just serious sessions and important panel discussions. It also features a glamorous awards night, of course. at the Time 100 Gala was, in fact, I think, last night. Is that right?
It was last night, and who better to send down there than our very own Dina Butty? She was on the red carpet. Let's take a look.
Government Summit 2023 kicks off. I'm here at one of its most highly anticipated events, the Time 100 Impact Awards and Gala. The red carpet has been rolled out at the Museum of the Future, and I am gearing up to speak to some of the inspiring individuals being honored here tonight. I mean, you are loved by millions of people in the region, and you have such a powerful voice. Is there a cause that you're passionate about? I know that you're a representative, you're an ambassador for the UNHCR. So what work are you focused on at the moment?
Well, I'm very focused on my work with the UNHCR and the growing crisis of refugees throughout the world. Unfortunately, it now is doubling up with climate change, so I'm going to be talking a lot about it on my social media. And I had a meeting with the UNHCR this morning here in Dubai to discuss it. Climate change is causing more and more displaced people. The two problems are colliding.
Well, you know, I think the last couple of years really going into and coming out of COVID, you know, I've been very focused on the issue of homelessness in Los Angeles, you know, which is a real humanitarian crisis and something that has captured my heart and, you know, my ambition. And so I would say that's where my philanthropy has been right now.
If you have nieces and nephews, encourage them to prepare themselves to solve tomorrow's problems. You know, that's a thing that we all need as a society, is to encourage the youth of today to tackle tomorrow's problems, and to do that they have to prepare themselves with the skill sets today.
It would have to be the Palestinian cause. My mother is Palestinian, and she does a lot of work in Palestine, and you know, they deserve all the help and good they can get.
Ahmed, it's an honor to have you here with us in Dubai. Now tell us about Al-Bashir. You're, through comedy, tackling some serious issues, and it's been 8 years now. How's that all going?
It's doing well. We're doing very good with the show, actually. We're moving from place to place to find the most important issues that Iraqis are facing. And we're doing great. The show is doing great, alhamdulillah. And I'm here to be one of the next influencer the next year.
Now, a lot of women in the region look up to you, the first female Emirati director. Is there a message that you want to get out there to women who are watching you?
I would like to say that it's time for us to tell our stories and not watch others do that for us, because the message gets skewed. I'm tired of the negative stereotype that women especially have about our region, and it's really fascinating to see females from the Arab world really come through with the power of storytelling.
It doesn't matter what you look, how tall you are, how short you are, how fat you are, or how thin you are, just be yourself. You are beautiful anyways.
I don't work alone. One, this award is not mine alone. It speaks of the impact of everyone that has been involved in this work. Second, this is the work for all of us. All of us need to own the protection of the environment.
Now, I know that you're not meant to be biased, but do you guys have a favorite? Anyone who really, truly inspires you?
We can't pick favorites among our honorees. We love them all equally.
From young activists to celebrities, it has been an incredible night. Above all, it has been a glimpse into the kind of leadership and ideas that will help propel the world forward.
Dina, thank you very much indeed for that report. Live from the red carpet last night, the Time 100. Saban's still with us here as well. And as you can see, key local and global media personalities are helping the World Government Summit deliver its mission and, of course, its message. Next guest knows all about delivering messages, that's for sure. He's an acclaimed journalist. He used to work at Gulf News. He used to work at the Khaleej Times as well. So there's a rich understanding of what events like this take to host and what they mean for a city like this. It's a warm welcome to Abhishek Semgupta. Abhi, great to see you as always. Thanks for joining us.
Good to see you after a really long time.
It's been a while, but it's nice to see that you're still here, still getting the good word out there as well. And talking about that, how important important is it to... A lot of people will see World Government Summit, they'll think, oh, just government, just business.
Yeah.
Celebrities also come into town to spread that word.
Yeah, I love to call it the rock star events of the annual calendar. I mean, you talked about the heads of states, but you didn't talk about someone like Idris Elba. Yeah. will.i.am is coming back. Last time Elon Musk was here, he wasn't even Elon Musk of today, 2017, and he's coming back, one of the richest men in the world. In fact, interestingly, just last night I was looking up at his old chat with Mohammed Al-Gargawi, and he was talking about the future of mobility and going to space. And just yesterday, day zero, we had the big announcement of air taxis coming up in just 3 years' time from now. So that is what World Government Summit is all about. It encompasses everything. You know, over 3 days, it's pretty much the entire world coming together.
Going back to what you said as well about, yes, you do hear that World Government Summit, and sometimes, you know, you're not expecting will.i.am to be on the red carpet.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he does so much, and his is all about the future generations, the amount of STEM centres that he's built in his community. How important are those, you know, figures, as you say, your Idris Elbas, and these so many actors and actresses? How important is that?
I think when you look at the lineup, I mean, there are 20 heads of states, and from as diverse countries as someone from, you know, the head of Senegal, Paraguay, down to, I mean, this year's big acts are Recep Tayyip Erdogan and Abdel Fattah al-Sisi of Egypt. But then you also need that gloss, and they are the very important, although I would love to call them gloss, but they also bring a lot of substance to this meeting. I mean, you rightly said no one's done as much work on STEM as will.i.am, although he's famous for Black Eyed Peas. And that is a very, very important addition to this big event.
Do you think Elon Musk is going to be discussing anything about the flying taxis? Is he going to have a hand in maybe helping produce this mass?
I'm sure mobility is talked about, I mean, these days more often than not. I mean, last time when he came here, 2017, when he addressed the World Government Summit, he spoke about going to space. Yeah. And that's at a very advanced stage. And now with air taxis, I mean, I was, in fact, listening to the radio this morning, and the CEO of RT has already spoken about the blueprint that's in place. I mean, 3 years' time, we will be seeing flying taxis a reality.
Yes. It's interesting you mentioned that, because I wanted to get your thoughts also on this. You know, it was interesting. World Government Summit, Dubai, they just do things a little bit different. And this is the first time I could think of a day zero of a three-day event as well. Yeah. You've got 3 days of a lot of discussion going on. But you know what? We're going to have the head of the IMF and day zero just to kick things off, and a big announcement like that as well. So constantly raising the bar.
Oh, yes, definitely, yes. And Tom, as you said, I mean, delivering the right message is very important. Say, for example, the UAE president has announced 2023 as the year of sustainability. Dubai is holding COP28 in November, and so climate change is very important. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So WGS, the World Government Summit, has, along with US-based think tank, the Atlantic Council, they will be launching a worldwide forum called Climate Tech. So Climate Tech essentially is a global platform that's aiming to develop the right kind of dialogues and policies, and again using technology to address the challenges of climate changes and all those things.
Innovation yet again.
Exactly. Exactly.
I didn't see you on the red carpet last night. What's going on?
Yeah, I was going to be there, but I had to come here for the shoot. So
we wanted you to be the gloss.
Absolutely. No, I love watching it from a distance.
Yeah.
Because there are too many gloss last night to sort of catch from a distance.
Gentlemen, I know it's going to be a busy week for you, but just a quick word of advice. I mean, all of us have done a World Government Summit together. If this is your first one, if you don't have to go to the Mad Mat, it's probably best to avoid it for the next 3 days. It is going to be busy, busy, busy. I know that you're all going to be involved, so thanks so much indeed for your time today. Abhishek, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much.
Seban, thank you very much
indeed.
Thank you
very much, Tom.
Enjoy the World Government Summit.
Absolutely.
Well, that's about that. That's all from us tonight. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about education and, of course, how WGS, the World Government Summit, is changing the way that all of we think about education.
Now, of course, it goes without saying, if you come across anything exciting that's happening at the World Government Summit, make sure to let us know by using the hashtag DXB Today on social media. And that is it for now. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Good night from us.
Take care.